Hello everyone, my name is David from Beast 101 and today I'm going to be tutoring Math 1. In this case, we're going to learn trigonometry for Form 5. So this is a Form 5 class for those in Form 6 or any other level and want to learn the basics of trigonometry. You can feel free to join in and learn as well. So, why study trigonometry in the first place? Trig is a very important concept in your education journey, since you'll be seeing a lot of it in more topics like integration, differentiation, and complex algebra. And for those hoping to do engineering, you'll meet it in mechanics, for example, simple harmonic motion, in electronics and electrical engineering, for example, circuit analysis. Thus, trig is a very important topic for everyone. So, what does a student need to know in order to pass his or her exams? The contents of this MOOC will be based on Pure Math 1 by J.K. Backhouse and Uganda's syllabus. Thus, we will give the most of what you need to know to pass your exams. So part 1, general angles. So with my experience, I realized if you are an average or a smart student and want to excel in an exam or exercise or in whatever you do, you need to understand the basics of every topic you are tackling. In this case, understanding the basics of trigonometry is very important. So let's first understand the keywords. So consider having a circle drawn about a fixed axis. If we start from the rest position and make one revolution back to that position, we will have turned through 360 degrees. If we make another 360 degrees turn, thus we say we have turned through 720. By angles greater than 360 degrees, the number of revolutions might be specified. So you've understood the term revolution. How do we measure angles? Angles in this case are measured from the x-axis. Angles measured from the x-axis in the anti-clockwise sense are positive, and those measured in the clockwise sense are negative. So, the x and the y axis divide the plane into 4 quadrants. The first, second, third and fourth quadrants, which are very important in determining the sign of trig ratios. Thus bringing us to trig ratios. To understand these, of course, you need to have done it in O level, or if not, you need to understand a triangle and its sides, the opposite, the hypotenuse, and adjacent. So there is a shorthand trick that can enable you to understand the trig ratios, which is SOHCAHTOA. In this case, S stands for sine, which is opposite all over hypotenuse. C stands for cos, which is adjacent all over hypotenuse. And T stands for tan, which is opposite all over adjacent. You'll also need to understand their reciprocals. Cosec is the reciprocal of sine, which is 1 over sine. Sec is the reciprocal of cos, which is 1 over cos. And cot is the reciprocal of tan, which is 1 over tan. After having understood the trig ratios, you need to understand their signs in different quadrants. This thus brings us to another short word trick. All students take chemistry. All is for the first quadrant, meaning all trig ratios are positive in the first quadrant. Students is for sine, meaning that only sine is positive in the second quadrant. Tech stands for tan, meaning only tan is positive in the third quadrant. And chemistry stands for cos, meaning that only cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. Let's try an example to show the relevance of what we've studied. express in terms of trigonometrical ratios of acute angles. Sine of 150 degrees. Here they expect us to identify the position of the angle, then compute the acute angle from the diagram, and finally assign a sign on the trig ratio, or give the sign of the trig ratio in that quadrant. You can try out further examples of sec of negative 172 degrees, sine of 170. If you get any complications, be sure to let me know. The next MOOC will cover graphs of trig ratios, trig equations, Pythagoras theorem. Thank you for watching, and remember, never miss a moment.